Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is your host, Todd Jones, and I am the voice of the people. And tonight on the show, we have a special guest. I'm really looking forward to talking to this brother, Peter W. Sherrill. I'm hoping I pronounced that right, but Peter will be in the studio.
Absolutely correct.
Okay, I said it right. So Peter's in the studio with me, and Peter is an author of, it's an amazing book, pretty impressive, and I am trying to adjust my camera, so forgive me, guys. Here we go. Okay, this is Todd Jones, the host of The Voice of the People, and tonight's guest is in the studio with me, Peter W. Sherrill, author of The Life of a Black Republican in Trump's America. So, Peter, I want to give some people a little bit of background on you before I introduce you and get you into the studio. The Life of a Black Republican in Trump's America is a story, ironically, not really about Trump, but about the one man totally responsible for not only Trump becoming president, but basically responsible for every member in the Republican Party being elected, even to the Supreme Court. He has used fascism, racism, anti-Semitism to promote his agenda and is controlling every facet of our democracy, from the executive branch, legislative branch, and even the judicial branch. This is pretty juicy. This one individual who the author refers to as the puppet master, and how this one individual is manipulating our entire economy through his billion-dollar hedge fund. And responsible for, he's responsible for, what are you responsible? Hold on, guys. I had someone texting me. So he's also responsible for the manipulating our entire economy, his billion-dollar hedge fund, and responsible even for orchestrating, how do you pronounce this? Brexit. B-R-X-I-T. Brexit. Okay. And it has not been mentioned once in the Mueller investigation or has been called to any Senate hearing on the Hill. Not to mention, the company he owns is at the heart of the collusion or confusion that took place in 2016. So this is a lot. This is a lot to take in. So I'm going to bring Peter in because some of these questions that are now becoming relevant, are we ready to take back our country? I know I am. Are we ready to take back our country from the 1% with all the power and wealth to make the United States of America the greatest nation that God has ever created? So I welcome Mr. Peter Sherrill. Thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, Ms. Todd Jones. I really appreciate the opportunity to share this knowledge and information with your audience and with anybody who's listening, man, because it's really very serious, very serious.
Yes. So let's get into this, Peter. Give me a little bit of the background behind the book.
Well, the book, after what transpired in 2016 with the election of Donald Trump as president of this country, well, even prior to that, you saw this movement in his campaign to this alt-right agenda. Now, after what happened was Manafort, who's in jail now, all right, prior to, they got rid of him as the campaign manager and brought in Steve Bannon. Everybody should be familiar with Steve Bannon. That's why it's important that we know what's going on and who is doing what. Steve Bannon is actually the vice president of the company that the puppet master owns, and he is the one who was responsible for this alt-right agenda because he is also the editor-in-chief. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So
he's
is
also
this
the editor.
Former White House
Steve Bannon.
chief strategist? Okay.
Chief
Bannon,
of staff.
correct?
Yeah, he became chief of staff. Yeah, but he was Trump's campaign
Wow.
manager. He was before he became chief of staff. He was Trump's campaign manager. They got rid of Manafort, brought in Steve Bannon. But see, Steve Bannon works for the puppet master. Are we there?
One moment. Yeah, we're still here. Give me one moment, okay? One moment, and we're gonna continue. I want to see. Okay.
Oh.
In the studio with us also, this is Paco Cunningham from Ready to Love, correct?
Yes. Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's going on?
Paco?
I just wanted to, this, Paco, you are being introduced to Peter W. Sherrill, author of The Life of a Black Republican in Trump's America. We're going to get into conversing. I'm going to allow Peter to finish his thought because I didn't mean to interrupt. And we'll bring Paco in and see if you would like to divulge in some of this information with us and share some of your thoughts, as well as the purpose for bringing him on tonight. He's going to be an up-and-coming guest, but I would love to hear from him. And also, he wants to become an aspiring author himself. So I wanted to connect the two of you brothers because black love does matter, and we need to. We are stronger in numbers. You know what I'm saying? We're stronger in numbers than we are separate. You know, and I do want to hear from both of you. I want to hear from both of you because I'm not quite sure if y'all heard that Jay-Z is going to be doing something with the NFL. Have y'all heard about that?
I've heard that. I've heard about it.
And I want to know some of brothers like you who are very intelligent, strategic-minded, what do you think about Jay-Z and his reportedly becoming part owner of the NFL? Is it a good move? Or what are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts on that?
Well,
I'll hear from you, Peter.
Well, about Jay-Z?
Uh-huh.
Well, you know, all I've heard is that he is doing something with the NFL. I don't know the scope of what he's doing.
So this is I'll give you a briefing, okay? I'll give you both a briefing.
Yeah,
it appears
absolutely.
Jay-Z will become part owner. So Jay-Z will become part owner of a major sports franchise. Sources with knowledge of the situation told TMZ that the hip-hop mogul will have a significant ownership interest in an NFL team. The insiders say that Jay decided to make the move because he's a huge fan, and he already has a sports business because, you know, he does own a soccer team, and I think he also owns the Brooklyn Nets. So,
no, not anymore.
Okay, so since this is, to me, this is controversial because of the fact, you know, Kaepernick bended a knee, and he exposed some ugly things, and it started surfacing a lot of truth and negativity against us as black people. I myself am for Kaepernick.
Got it.
And I was listening to the Breakfast Club this morning. They were saying some things about this and saying, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Maybe it could be for change instead of him being a traitor. So it's a lot going on in this world today. So that's why I wanted to ask, what are you guys' viewpoints on something such as that? Do you think that this could be a good change in the right direction for us?
I would honestly say. You want to speak, Paco?
Well, like I said, I'm not too diverse on the subject that he was basically doing something with the NFL as far as the halftime. But now that you're bringing up as far as, you know, buying franchises, I didn't know that. But, you know, Jay-Z's a very savvy businessman, you know, and I give him all props, and I'm sure, you know, whatever he is doing, he has the intricate plan on what he's doing, you know. And that's really all I can speak on because I don't know much about it. But, you know, I am a fan of Jay-Z. I'm a fan of Kaepernick. I support both, you know. So, That's really the most I could really say on the subject itself.
Cool. And what do you think, Peter? Peter, what's your intake on this?
Well, like my man Paco, I'm a fan of Jay-Z. I mean, Jay-Z, I respect how he has done business, and I know he's just become a billionaire. And what we need to understand is that we need ownership. We need to be in the ownership of these organizations like the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, because that's where the real money, wealth, and power are. And as long as we are settling for just being athletes or just being entertainers and not owners, we'll never have the respect or the wealth or the power that we actually deserve. So I truly have to say that if Jay-Z is going to be part owner of a franchise, I am definitely all for it, because that begins the process of opening up the door for future generations to look at owning stuff, especially the young people looking at Jay-Z. They be like, man, Jay-Z owns a franchise. You know what? I'm going to own a franchise one day. And you'd be surprised what transpires with the mindset when you start thinking about ownership versus just being a part of a salaried or just an hourly employee, even though athletes are making millions. And that makes a big difference owning, you know?
Yes, yes. I thank you for that. I thank you for that, because you made a very a wonderful point, and that is taking ownership of who we are. The stronger we are coming closer to owning things of our own, the stronger we become in more control of our movement in society today. So I think you're absolutely right. I don't want to lose focus on the topic at hand, and I want you to expound on this book because it's very interesting. The book is entitled Author of the Life of a Black Man in Trump America. The Life of a Black Republican in Trump America. And guys, ironically, it's not even about Trump, but about one man totally responsible for not only Trump becoming president, but basically responsible for every member in the Republican Party being elected. This is it was very profound, and I found this very interesting. You even go on to say that this one individual who was the author refers to as the puppet master. Let's expound on that. Give us some insight in the background of your book.
Okay, so here we have it. The issue at hand was Donald was not going to beat Hillary. And so you have to understand who the puppet master is and where he comes from. See, first of all, he has a Ph.D. in computer science, and that's how he built his financial empire called Renaissance Technologies, which is the second largest U.S. hedge fund in the country.
Okay.
All right, so he's powerful.
Now tell us. Can you tell my list before you go forward, Peter? Who is this individual? Do you mind saying this person's name?
You gotta. You know what I tell everybody? You gotta read the book if you want to find out who the puppet master is. Go read the book and find out who the puppet master. You need to read because there's so much information. You know what? He is also responsible. Let me tell you how powerful he is about the hedge funds, because his hedge funds is the hedge fund for the United Federations of Teachers pension fund. And so because he is controlling everything in the White House, he took the money from the teachers pension fund and invested it in the detention centers at the border. And when they found out about it, because he had to do a report, they found out that he was using their money for the pension funds, they made him